Hey, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Lopez from Blvd Connect, and this is going to be one of our first features of the week. I'm with Chino Mike 909. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on? How you doing? I'm
I'm
great,
good,
man.
man. You know, I've been wanting to interview you. I've been wanting to meet you and talk to you for the longest time because every time I'm on the internet, you're on the internet. Every time I get on Instagram, I always see these cool ass events and they're all being thrown by you, bro. And so I wanted to get into this guy's head and be like, yo, how do you throw such great events? And then when I was doing a little bit more research about you, I read your incarceration and the nonprofit that you started.
Yep.
So I think that is fascinating. We're going to get into it, and it's called No More Locked Doors. And you started that while you were incarcerated in prison, correct?
Well, the seed for it, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
second.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in a second. But I really wanted to talk to you about, because here goes a dude that's just straight hustling, and that's what it seems like you're doing every single day, right? And
Yeah.
there's something fun about the hustle. I love the hustle. And you seem like the idea guy that executes, because there's everybody. I always tell people, I even tell my son, I'm like, yo, there's everybody has ideas, but it's
Hmm.
all about execution. Because ideas are just kind of like a fart in the wind. They'll go away after a while, but
Yeah.
if you don't execute, then it's just a dream. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know how you started throwing all these cool ass events, because I mean there's some production value in this, right?
Yeah. Oh, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been winging it since day one. So I've never
Really.
been an event planner or nothing. But when I first started my nonprofit and we finally got approved by the federal government and the state and stuff, got our EIN number. Now it's time to start doing stuff. But how do you do stuff without money?
Exactly.
So I just use my street hustle and my all the ways I used to have in the negative side, I turned that into positive. And so now I'm
Absolutely.
hustling for a cause. So just willing and dealing, networking and hustling. And my first event was a toy drive, my first ever toy drive.
And
And
when
so,
was that?
it's a free community event, but still there's a lot of costs that come with it, whether it's getting porta potties or, the DJs and the systems and, all that stuff that comes with it. So, I just started putting little fundraisers together, doing raffles and stuff like that, just trying to,
When was your first event?
my toy drive, my first toy drive.
No, when?
Oh, that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Five
Okay.
years ago.
And what I mean, we all have that moment. We all have that moment. It was like, yo, I remember where I was, and I thought, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this. What caused you to start doing this?
Well, when I came home, it was kind of difficult. I did a long stretch. I did 8.5 years in federal prison. Before that, I mean, I've done a total of 27 altogether, from the juvenile system, from juvenile hall to about 10 years in the California Youth Authority, multiple state prison terms, county. I've done it all. But coming home and actually wanting to do good this time and just tired and burned out from that lifestyle, I just wanted to do some good. So coming home and trying to get back on my feet was really challenging. Everything from just a driver's license to, all the simple stuff, the easiest things that are for normal people to get were hard for somebody like me to get because the obstacles that I had. So I said, man, in LA, they got all these programs and all these resources for all these people that are coming home over there, but there's nothing really in the IE. So I
Okay.
said, I want to do something for the IE. So
Right.
that's how it started.
And
And
and how was that first event? How did I
oh,
mean, did
I
you
was mind blown about how successful it was. I was so scared. I was like, man, if I get 50 toys, I'll be happy. And at the end of the night, I walked out in the back to go start picking up stuff, and I seen the toys out there. There was thousands, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my god,
wow. And
yeah!"
how did you organize that? Because you coming home, I mean, I imagine your network was probably small then, or was it big, or what's going on? How
It,
did
it was small. It's still small, but I just got some powerful friends and connections and stuff like that. Just blessed to have a lot of community support. I've always been loved and liked in the community, even when I was in that other lifestyle. But now that I'm doing good, people really love to see something good come back to the hometown. So when I do stuff, people come out and they support because it's good to see something positive in the city.
it's funny you saying if I get 50 toys, that would be cool. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering how you were the night before your first event ever. I mean, you're
I was
putting
scared. I was
you're,
terrified. And even more so, we had bad weather come in that night and that early in
oh,
the morning. There was a thunderstorm that took out with lightning. It took out a power transformer. So the facility that we're doing the event didn't have no power. And then the water main broke in the middle of the street
oh,
on the corner. So the restaurant didn't have no water. So we didn't have no lights. No, the restrooms didn't work. I mean, it was a total nightmare. We were gonna get rained out, and I was just so disappointed. Like my first one ever. I funded some of it out of my own pocket because my real job is I'm a union welder, so
okay. Mm-hmm.
that's how I make my money. But I was just so terrified I was going to lose, and thank God that it rained all around us and didn't touch one drop where we were at. And there the city was working on the water. Thank God we had rented a few porta potties, so that kind of kept us alive. So we managed, and by the end, well, towards the third quarter of the event, the power came on, the water was back on, and people came. People were still there the whole time, no matter what. We had a little car show in the back. We had
Nice.
Joseph Raymond Lucero for the Mayans came with Frankie Loyal, Mellow Man Ace. I mean, a lot of people came out for us. So it was dope. So everybody
So
had a good time.
you went from being stressed out ever were you ever kind of thinking I may need to cancel this, or were you
Yes,
you
I,
were
I was I was ready to cancel it. No water, no power. I mean,
yeah.
rain. It was just, man, I was devastated.
And you know what's funny is I heard you talk about a little earlier about all the little obstacles that you had to go through because of your situation from getting a license and all that. It seems like all that kind of prepared you for something like this because hey, more obstacles, more reason to jump over. You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah,
bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
always tell my son obstacles are there to make you ask yourself how bad do you really want this.
yep,
You have to find a way over this obstacle, and that's great that you didn't cancel it
yeah. It
because
takes a lot of strength and a lot of determination because it's so easy to give up. It's like, man, f this. This is it's not for me. It's impossible. They don't want to see us make it. The system's already against us. Yeah, the
yeah.
system's already against us. But why give them the ammunition to give you another free ride back to the facility? They say the lights are always on. So
There you go.
um, I'm tired. So
How
like,
did you
hell no.
feel how did you feel the next morning?
Well, I felt good, but after everything worked itself out, when I went to the back, my next problem became where in the hell am I going to put all these toys? I don't have I
That's a
don't
good
have
problem to
storage.
have.
I don't have storage. I don't have nothing. So thank God the facility had the restaurant had a little Connex out in the back, and they let me put it in there for now. But we maxed out that Connex from
Nice.
the top to the from all the way to the ceiling. So we had to figure it out and sort out all the toys over the next couple of weeks, and then we had registration for the family, so we had to sort out the toys by age and gender. And yeah, we had a wonderful giveaway, and we blessed so many kids, and we had so many toys left over after the registry. We started blessing other communities and just helping out a lot of families. So it was good.
Okay, so now your first major event went great.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you're asking, all right, I got to do another one.
yeah,
Yeah. And,
yeah. A
and
lot of yeah, we did a lot.
and a lot of them, right? And so how many toy drives did it go through until you started doing bigger events? Because I know you're throwing concerts now, and I mean,
Yeah,
I see the production value in what you're doing.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you're still doing toy drives. I think I saw something.
We just did our last one in November at the Derby Room in Fairplex.
Yeah.
We've outgrown every facility now, so now we're at the LA County Fair. That's the only place that can hold us now.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
that's freaking amazing, dude. That is amazing.
Yeah. So last year it was on Channel 5, Channel 9. We had Danny Trejo and everybody there,
I
all
remember that
Trejo's
event.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had, I mean, everybody in the influencer game. And I mean, so many people came out,
I
artists and
remember. The
yeah,
reason why I
CC
remember,
Valencia.
yeah, I remember because I have a product called Cholo no Lolo, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to be at that event, but I remember I was out of town and I came back and I was looking at all the Instagrams like, damn it. My
Yeah. It was,
freaking wife forced me to go somewhere on vacation. I could have been here, with the community, having a good time, doing something for the community, but she wanted to go on vacation. So, but
Yeah,
got to
we're
make.
planning our next one already. The same place at the Derby Room at the LA County Fairgrounds, November 30th this year. We're going to do it again. It's a free show, free concert, free car show, free resources. We have all kinds of stuff at our toy drive. The only fee is a toy. You just got to bring a toy to get in.
Yeah, just
That's
bring
it.
a toy, and that's not a bad idea.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
not a bad fee, man, and it goes for a great cost. I want to know how you started with the bigger events. Like, what was your first big event besides a toy drive, where you started getting artists involved in
Yeah.
venues?
Well, from that first gate, we started getting attention from celebrities and stuff like that. Like I have a history with Joseph Raymond Lucero from the Mayans, which is everybody knows him as Creeper from the Mayans. I was actually incarcerated with him in the 90s in California Youth Authority.
Okay.
So kind of ties back to like with Danny Trejo and all that incarceration. Mm-hmm. Danny's been there. He's done that. He's overcome all his obstacles and challenges and, became, a really famous actor. And he's my role model. Like I watch him. I see what he's done all these years. He hasn't forgotten who he is. He hasn't forgotten his people, and he's very humble a person. So, I look up to him, and I told Danny a couple of years ago at one of the events we did together a couple of years ago at the Canyon. I said, Danny, if I could do 1% of what you did, then I made a difference.
There you go. Yeah, and you know what? That guy's story is unfreaking believable. Every time there's an article on Danny, I read it because he does some fascinating, wonderful things, not only for the community, but in his life. I thought, what a turnaround. And his book was absolutely fascinating. I'm just waiting for somebody to adapt that into a movie because I'm going to be first in line when that happens. I mean, that book, and I actually give that book out as a present to people. I'm like, yo, read this book. This is such a great book. It's a great story of perseverance and a struggle and where he's at now. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
So humble. We just celebrated his 80th birthday at his house.
How the hell is Machete 80 years old, man? You know what I'm saying? How is he 80 years old?
And he's still running around like he's like he's a teenager, man. He don't stop.
No, absolutely. I met him at one of his taco places in Santa Monica, and I brought him a Cholo and Lolo, and I gave him one. So I was really happy to meet him. That was a really cool thing to do. I want to know more about so your events. You probably there's some ups and downs with because I've known a lot of people have thrown major events. I had a friend that threw a New Year's Eve party back in I think 2004 or 3 at the Long Beach Convention Center, and unfortunately, it was a big flop. And he was a very well known I'm not going to mention his name, party organizer and things like that. Now he owns all of Pomona, but it was a major flop. And I was wondering, but have you ever had something that didn't go the way you did? And what did you learn from it?
Whew, I learned you can't always win. You can't win all the time. So, there was a couple of things I tried to help, especially with some up and coming artists. I try to use my platform to give them an actual platform to showcase their talents, So I do a lot of stuff at the Canyon in Montclair, which is the guy who created the House of Blues, Lance Sterling. He started the Canyon clubs, and he's the guy that did the concept for the House of Blues. So it's a replica of the House of Blues. So nice. I said, well, I'm going to give these up and coming artists a chance to perform at a professional venue. Uh-huh. Oh man, hold on 1 second. I got knocked out with a call.
You're busy. Understandable.
Yeah. So I try to do something for some up and coming artists. Of course, those events aren't free. And so like I said, I fund everything out of my own personal bank account. So we did it, and they weren't able to sign enough tickets to cover the overhead. So at the end of the night, I had to come out of pocket about $4,300.
Oh.
So I was like, oh no.
Yeah. And so what would you have done different though? What would you have changed if in hindsight, we could always look back at hindsight, but what would you have changed?
My new concept now is we all have to work together. I can't do all the work. I can't, I can't do it all. So now with my birthday, I'm giving the artist again another opportunity to come back and do something. But I'm saying here, look, you got to help me. You got to work just as hard as I work. I can't work harder than you and hand it to you on a silver platter.
Absolutely.
I have to work. You have to work. So I'm giving the artist an opportunity to get on the stage by selling tickets. They have to sell their tickets. I'm giving them 50 tickets, $20 a piece. They have to give me 50% of that back to cover the overhead for the venue. The other 50% they get to keep for their own personal pocket.
There you go.
So
Hey, you're sharing the wealth there.
yeah,
So,
oh yeah.
so there's
So
an incentive. There's an incentive
yes,
there, and that's great.
and nobody else does that for artists like that. Usually, to get on a stage like that with some headliners like Lighter Shade of Brown and Mellow Mayonnaise, and you know,
Yeah.
some, we're gonna have some other special guests pull up, but nobody gives any up and coming artists deals like that. They usually say you have to sell the tickets 100% to get on the stage, or they'll say we'll give you $5 out of every ticket to get on the stage.
Okay.
I'm giving them 50% because I want everybody to come up.
That's a very generous thing to do because I've never heard that before. I've
Yeah,
never heard anybody doing that before. And and you're absolutely right. When you hook up with people, you can't do all the work. It's like look, man, we got to do this as a team. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's hard to do it on your own. It really is.
And
Anything.
I tell them, look, you're an artist, right? You want to make music, you want to sell out records and all that. I said, if you can't sell 50 damn, I said, well, at least a minimum 25 tickets, you're
Yeah,
in the wrong business. All you
absolutely.
got to sell is 25. The other 25 you can give your friends, your family, they can come watch you. All you have to sell is 25 tickets. If you can't do that, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's not that bad to sell. You can't, you got to try to,
25 tickets, you
yeah.
got 2.5 months to sell them.
Exactly. That's not that bad. So yeah, you got to put in that work. Now you put it in work for the community. Of course, you were incarcerated. You founded a nonprofit, No More Locked Doors. Um, where were you when you thought of this? Because it takes a lot of work to start a nonprofit. I think it's a 501c, right? It
Yeah,
takes a little bit,
501c3.
a lot of paperwork, a lot of bureaucracy, and a lot of a lot of things to go to cover and all that kind of stuff with the city and the state and all that. Where were you when you and what was it that made you think this is what I want to do? This is what I want to start.
Well, it all happened by accident. I was sitting in federal prison. I just got sentenced to 130 months for a federal drug conspiracy case with the FBI for 38 grams of methamphetamine that they confiscated off somebody else. But since there was wiretaps and all that, they had them coming to my house and leaving. And in 2 years, all they were able to confiscate was 38 grams because I wouldn't inform on my co-defendants. They sock it to me. So I got almost 11 years for 38 grams, which would have been a ticket out here nowadays. But they made an example out of me. So when I'm sitting in federal prison, I was in the education department looking at the law library, trying to figure out an appeal strategy. And by accident, education staff came up to me and asked, "What programs are you interested in at the facility that you would be willing to take?" I was there already a few months, so I already knew the programs they had, and I already knew none of them meant nothing. They were just jail programs that you get a jail certificate said you did the program. I said, well, tell me what programs you got that are like accredited or something I could take to an employer out in the streets and I could get a good job and career. And anything you got like that, I'm interested. They said, well, we don't. We just got, just a prison certificate. I said, well, I'm not interested in any of your programs. And right now I'm more focused on my bill. So the lady, she was real mean lady. She just said, well, maybe you should tell our supervisor that our programs aren't adequate enough for you. And I said, oh, whatever, get the hell out of here. I'm busy.
Should have told her I will then.
Yeah. Well, I
Let me
didn't care
speak
at
to
the
your
time.
manager.
At that time, I was already upset that I had gotten so much time. I was just trying to get back home to my family. But one day, months later, I did run into the supervisor of education, and he was like the supervisor for an entire Fort prison complex. So pretty much almost like a status of a warden for the whole education department. Ran into this guy. We were supposed to be going back to the unit, but something happened outside in the yard or somewhere where they froze all the movement and they were dealing with some kind of emergency or whatever. So I just said, well, we're fucking stuck. I might as well just, fucking throw something at him. So I just asked him if he had a minute, and then he said, yeah, sure. We got time. So I started talking to him about the programs and stuff like that. And I said, look, no disrespect to your education program, but I think you guys should start focusing on programs that are more realistic to the average person on the yard, the general population. Because I get it, back in the day in the federal system, it was more corporate, more, big time Wall Street type guys and all that stuff. So I
And
said, but
unfortunately,
now it's like state prison and it's the county jail, and it's like, it's just, just regular people now that are getting sent to the federal prison system. So he said, "What do you got in mind?" I said, "Well, I'm a union welder. I make this much money, and my union doesn't care about records. So if you want to do something meaningful for these guys and give these people some hope and opportunity, I really suggest you start looking into bring some trades to the prison that have some accreditation to it. Absolutely. Because anything that you give them with a prison certificate is going to get shined upon out on society. They want something that's accredited or certified or whatever. So
absolutely.
He said, "Well, what do you got in mind?" I said, "Well, let's do a welding program." I said, "I know everything about welding. Well, not everything, but I know a lot. I got extensive training in welding." So I showed him all my credentials. I showed him everything. I showed him my support from the union. He said, "Well, can you put something together for me on paper?" So I wrote a rough proposal. He looked it over. He liked it. He said, "Would you be willing to put something more formal for me? Put a curriculum together, put a plan together, plan of operation, how much is it going to cost? What are we going to need? What is the days and hours going to look like? And what, stuff you need, materials and all that." It took me a long time, but I put it all together, wrote up a curriculum, all that. He liked it, sent it to the regional, to the warden. Warden liked it, sent it to regional director in Stockton. They liked it. They sent it to the director of the entire Federal Bureau of Prisons in Washington, D.C., and they loved it. Damn. And after a fighting with them for almost 3 years to get it approved,
3 years.
It took about 3 years of fighting. Everybody was like, "No, they're not going to let you do it. We don't have the money. They're not going to waste that kind of money on programs. Budgets are tight. You're on this big,
giving inmates the ability to play with fire. I'm guessing that might have.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but they're like, "Man, you're like, they were kind of like telling me like, Mike, you're a homie, you're a Southsider, you're this, and you got a, extensive, record, I don't think they want you to have a metal manufacturing weapon shop on this prison yard."
I know, right?
So I just kept like, the more they told me no, the more I was like, I'm gonna fucking prove these motherfuckers that I'm gonna fucking get this shit.
Hell yeah!
So I fought and fought and fought, and not just for me, but I mean, I was already certified. I already had, I already had got myself in the union and all that. I knew when I came home I was gonna be good. Yeah. But for all the other people that were sitting in there that had no hope, no opportunity, no plan, no idea what they were going to do when they came home, I had to do it for them.
Yeah.
So we got it approved. We built the school ourselves with me and some of my peers, and then I taught it for 3 more years, myself, with the support of the union, the carpenters union, and the support of all the building trades. We brought in operator engineers, the electricians, the iron workers, the sheet metal workers. We brought in all the trades to come talk to the students about different opportunities within the organized building trade labor.
You know what I'm hearing right now? I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm hearing a person that, again, you said I didn't take no for an answer, but a lot of obstacles were in your way, and you jumped over every single one of them, and it was worth it. You got it done.
It was done. Yeah.
And you know what I love about this is you're absolutely right. The trades, the skills to learn these trades aren't going away. With AI coming and all that kind of stuff, with the internet, with Amazon killing businesses and all that kind of stuff, the one thing that's never going to go away are trades, and those type of skills, the roofers, the electrician, the plumbers, the welders, things like that. You're always going to need these people. So what, and they actually say right now there's a decline in people doing these things. So that means there's going to be an increase in pay because there's going to be a lot less people doing them. So
they got rid of all the high school programs.
Yeah.
That, it's not being pushed. It's go to college, go to college, go to college.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I know so many people that went to college and got bachelor's degrees and all that, and they're making.
And this is, what's funny, dude? Me and my wife have been having arguments because my son is on his way to college and he wants to learn filmmaking. And I'm like, Mijo, you're going to college for a creative. You don't really need to do that. He's already making films. So it's like, you don't have to go to college for certain things, he's already.
You can learn most of it on YouTube now.
100%. 100%.
Why go to college? You can just study on YouTube all day
Yeah.
long.
For anything creative. I
Yeah.
once heard somebody say, man, you want to be a photographer? Don't go to college. Pick up a camera and start taking pictures.
Yeah.
Go get an apprenticeship. Go be an intern. Learn from people that are doing it instead of wasting your time and learning the history of film or the history of camera and things like that in college. So and spending tens of thousands of dollars, every year and being in debt and then working
Yeah.
at Starbucks as a barista, and that's what, so yeah, you're absolutely right. These skills are going to come into big play in the future because of the fact that not a lot of people are going to be doing them. So a lot of people are getting bored. So I think you're ahead of the time, bro, because now you're helping all these young men get into a trade that's actually going to be paying very, very well,
Yeah.
so how do people find your organization? I mean, is it just in the prison system, or when they get out, do they find this organization, and what do they do when they find you? What happens?
So a lot of people right now, it's word of mouth. I mean, there's a lot of articles out there on the internet about me, about what I did when I started the program in prison and what we're doing out here. Um, Most of the time, it's just like somebody will refer somebody to me. Hey, my cousin's getting out. Can you help him out? Sure, yeah. Tell him, call me.
There you go.
Then I find out what that individual's interests are, whether they want to get in the trades or if it's something else they want to get into, acting or music or whatever. I know so many people and so many different skill sets that I can always refer somebody to, whatever they're looking for. So that's pretty much how we're doing it. They get in the trades and I connect them with one of my business agents. We have an official program called Brothers Keeper, which is a reentry boot camp for formerly incarcerated. Give them a taste of what we do to make sure that once they get that boot camp taste, that they're still interested at the end. Then we throw our resources at them, help them get their tools, their boots, their all the stuff they need, and then help them get placed in the trade.
Mike, I think you're doing wonderful work, man. I really do. I think you came out of a situation and you made the best of it, and you're helping others, and you're helping yourself in that situation for the future. And I think that's amazing. Looking back when we're young, I grew up I grew up around the projects in San Francisco, and my whole community of friends were unfortunately people that weren't doing so great, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but they always actually looked after me. My group of friends, and like when they were up to bad things, they always told me, "Nah, you ain't doing this, Mike." They would actually tell me to go home, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know to this day. Some of them are gone, some of them are still in jail. But I wish I could find out why they always kind of kept me away from that. But so I guess I had some really good friends when I was very
Oh
young.
yeah.
But what would you say, like, to a young Mike, if you were to be able to see him right now, a younger version of you, a 15-year-old version, what would you say to him if you had a chance?
Well, what I know now is through my organization. What I do is now, as I talk to high school students, um, youth at risk. I go to juvenile placement facilities to talk to the youth there, and I share my experiences. I share the see, when I was a kid, it was all about the lifestyle, the glamorization of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having money, the girls, the cars, the tattoos, being the big dog on the block. All that.
Absolutely.
That shit's for the birds, man. That's nothing. All the hardship and heartache and pain and loss and suffering that you don't see when that person's on the corner, when you're in prison, sitting in there for a decade,
Yeah.
and you're watching family members die, you're watching your lady leave you, take the kids and run off with somebody else. You don't
Yeah.
see that. So I share with these kids all the heartache and stuff that comes after that. Yeah, you might be on the block serving, making your money, making $50,000 a day or a week or whatever it is, but that one time you get cracked.
Yep.
You're looking at that 20-year sentence.
Yep. Yep.
The amount of time you're going to end up doing, if you don't tell, you could have been working at McDonald's and you would have made more during that period that you're going to be incarcerated.
Yeah.
So I tell the people, I say, look, it's a damn shame that when you get to prison, you refuse to work for 10 cents an hour in the kitchen I mean, you refuse to work for minimum wage out here
Yeah,
in the
but you
streets, but when you go to prison, you're fucking, hey, I want to work in the kitchen for 10 cents an hour. That don't make no fucking sense to me.
and you know what's funny? It's sad because I don't think a lot of these kids realize that, yeah, they're hustling on that corner. You know, they're hustling, doing whatever they're doing illegally to make that money. It's the same mindset as doing something legally.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's the same mindset. That's what they don't understand is you have that hustling mindset. You just have to apply it to something else that won't send you to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's exactly what I did. So
Yeah.
I just turned it all around and say, hey, look, how could I make this happen? How could I keep this hope alive for these people out here? And it's just by using the same hustle skills that I had, but just doing a positive way.
Yeah.
From selling dope to selling hope to providing hope. That's my new model.
There you go, man. And hope keeps you out of jail.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go, man. You know what, dude? What a great conversation. I love this. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. And but now you got a big birthday bash coming up, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And I
August
saw
11th.
and when I'm on the internet, Chino Mike's on the internet, man, because I saw the flyer. I'm like, oh shit, another event. Talk to me about this. This is obviously at the Canyon Club, right?
Yeah.
All right, tell me.
Again, man, I haven't even had a chance to breathe for Mother's Day yet. We did that big show with Tierra and Elvia Cadena.
I saw that.
And all that. So we did a good one for the mamas out there. So now we're doing my birthday. And of course, yeah, we're doing a concert and all that, having Larry Shader Brown, Melman, Ace, a bunch of other artists, my boy Master for Reals. We're bringing Vero from Echo Park in with the 30-year anniversary to the movie Mi Vida Loca.
Yeah, Vero's such a sweetheart. I love that girl.
Yeah, so we're also doing something to give back to our vendors. So we're giving our vendors an opportunity to be a part of it and have whatever merch or whatever apparel they have entered in a fashion show for them at my birthday bash. So nice. We're gonna just have so much stuff going on that day, give everybody a chance to shine and just have fun, you know, my birthday and 30-year anniversary and all that. So we're just one big celebration for everybody.
What's the date of your birthday party?
So it's on my actual birthday, Sunday, August 11th, at the Canyon Club in the city of Montclair, which is located inside the Montclair Mall.
And where can they buy tickets?
They can get tickets at AXS.com, or they can hit me up at Chino_Mike 909. Give me a call, give me a DM or whatever, and I got some hard tickets too if they want to save some money on them service fees.
And obviously, we're going to be putting this event up on BlvdConnect.com. It's a website out there for everything cars, culture, and community. Obviously, Mike here is a big part of that community and always doing great things for the culture. And we obviously, everybody appreciates what you do, man. You're doing some really good work, man. I really, really appreciate it. I speak on the community. We really appreciate it. That's awesome. And you throw some really fun events. So I'm looking forward to that big birthday bash, man. So I'll be buying my tickets. I'll be buying my tickets because I'm there to support.
And I'll keep it at $20. It's it simple. All I want to do is raising up money to cover all the overhead. It's not about making money. It's just covering my costs, and let's all have a good time.
There you go, man. See, $20, dude.
Yeah.
You can't even go to McDonald's and get something less than $20, dude.
No, no. And that's table seating. We're selling them as general admission, but first come, first serve on the tables. Get there early and get a table. I don't care. You know, it's just to have fun that day.
All right, I'm buying my tickets, Mike. And I want to say thank you very much for coming on, man. I really appreciate you being part of the Blvd Connect feature of the week. And I hope there's some people out there to get a good message out of this. I'm pretty sure because you're doing some really great things and we all appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guys. My name is Mike Lopez from BlvdConnect.com. Oh, shit. He has to go. See, he's too busy for us. Thank you so much, guys.
Really appreciate trip out of there. That's my boy, Mr. Wash, the artist, who was as a brother that I was incarcerated with during my whole stay in the feds. And this guy is one of the baddest painters, artists that you would ever meet. I got to connect you with him.
Beautiful. I want to check that out. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Okay. Peace.